Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to do a little cultivating here. The purpose of the cultivating is to get the weeds out, right? So you can see over here how the weeds are starting to grow on the sides, right? I've got corn here and pumpkins planted, and this over here is a line that I've already passed, and you can see when I go through it how it just basically disturbs the soil and basically digs up and buries most of the weeds. So you're not going to get everything. You're still going to, because obviously, like over here, this is the line that has the corn. I mean, you're not going to get these guys over here, but you're going to get most of it out. So it's a very efficient way to get the weeds out. The way I've planted this, I've planted both corn and pumpkins together in the same row. And the reason is because the rows are so far apart, right? They're like almost 3 feet apart. The reason is because of the way I'm, basically plowing and cultivating. I need room for the tractor tires to go through. Okay, so commercial farmers don't use this technique; they use a different one. But because of the technique that I'm using, I'm able to plant both corn and pumpkins in the same line, because the rows are far enough apart that the sun's still going to get through and give sunlight to the pumpkins that are at the bottom. Okay, so the tool that we're using to do our cultivating is this everything attachments. Now this was a garden bedder. Basically the discs normally go here and the furrowing attachment goes here for making the rows for planting, but now I have it set up for for cultivating. So I've got these guys set up in 4 positions. Now if you notice, these 2 guys here are a little bit higher, right, whereas these guys on the ends are lower, right? So you can see over here how that's like this like not even 2 fingers, whereas here I've got like 4 fingers on this side. Okay, so the ends are lower because the ends are going to go in the area where the tractor tires pass, right? So you can see how this row over here, how the tractor tires have compacted it, because I had my daughter go I went through here before my daughter, and we're pulling out some of the larger rocks. So I want to basically break up, I need the ends to be lower because that's where the tractor tire goes, and then the insides are going to go a little bit higher because I want to basically just hit the edge here and not disturb the crop that is in the middle. Okay, so this is a very useful attachment. This the garden bedder. Between this and the middle buster, you could probably take care of your planting needs. Now I also use the disc harrow to break up the ground. The disc harrow is particularly useful at the end of the season, because after I go through with the brush hog to chop up the corn stalks, I go through with the disc harrow, which basically chops up the chalks the stalks that are on the ground. Okay, so I mean the disc harrow is convenient to have, but I probably could get by with just having the garden bedder, right, with the 2 discs that normally don't go here. I've done other videos on how I use the garden bedder with the discs, and now with this setup over here I can cultivate. But what I also did is, after I went through this, before I went through it with the garden bedder, I also used this setup to also break up the soil a little bit more after I used the disc harrow. When I did it that time, I had them all on the same level. Okay, so I'm going to go through it. I already did this pass here, so you can see how decently it works. I'm going to make another pass and try to angle the camera back so you guys can kind of see it working. Alright, we're going to go through this over here now. I'm going to drop the bedder in the back. Probably go a little bit deeper. I'm gonna have to go through this one again. I'm gonna drop this a little bit more. Alright, see the front. Now see I'm going to move. right, let's take a closer look at how this went through. So normally, because I was holding the camera with one hand, normally I keep my hand on that elevation level, and as I'm going through it, depending on how I'm, what I'm feeling, I'll adjust up and down. Like at the early on, there was I saw I was a little too high, and then over here I probably went a little bit too low. But I'm gonna start going through this now, and obviously I'll have one hand on the steering wheel, one hand on the lever, and I can fine tune it as I'm going through. But you can see how it, it pulls out the weeds, right? See how this grass here got turned over. So now that's just gonna like dry up in the sun. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Towards the later on in the season, I'll show you guys how everything's coming up. Talk to y'all soon. Hey everyone, I wanted to show you guys what this thing looks like after I cultivate it. So you can see how it took care of most of the weeds. Like I said, there's the ones that are growing close to the plant, to the crops. I mean, that you're just gonna have to live with. But this cuts down on a lot of work of having to pull the weeds out by hand. Now the other thing is that when you do it this way, I mean, inevitably you're gonna hit a couple of crops. I mean, it's just part of the, you might end up knocking out a couple, depending. Sometimes the seeds might fall a little bit too close to the edge. But at this point, this thing's done. This thing's ready now. I'm not going to touch this now until it's time to pull the corn out and pick the pumpkins in the fall. So I'll post an update as it's grown in. It's now, what is it, like the end of June? So I'll post an update in July. I'll post a video of my daughter pulling out the rocks. She was, she helped me out today. So there was some big rocks I had that were in, that had basically fell in the middle of the rows, like where the tractor tires were. So I went through with the tractor, and this is before I did the cultivating. I had to pull those rocks out and get them out of the way. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll talk to y'all soon. Go ahead. That's fine. Throw it in. Hey, Tina. Oh, Dina, get that rock right there. That's a big one. Go ahead. Over there, Tina, on that side. Those rocks. Go ahead. Good. Go down. Get more. Good. Get that rock over there. Go ahead. Throw it in. Get the big ones over there. Go ahead. Good. Hey, Tina, on that side. Get that rock over there. Right there. Good, get that rock. Good. All right, those are small. Look for big ones. Go down, look for big ones. Go ahead. Good. Very good, good. Good. Go on the other side here so I can turn around. Come over here. Good. I'm careful. Don't step on the corn. Very good.